the St. Jude storm, uh, the thing is that I read it in the news, and I also read that there are differing opinion. Some people attribute it to climate change. Some people say that there had always been strong storms in the UK before. Uh, so, in particular to the St. Jude storm, I would say that we expect natural calamities to increase, not just in the UK but also elsewhere. And the thing is, it's a mix of global warming, and also there are storms that are on schedule. And some of the reports or analysis is saying that this storm is like one of those storms in fall that normally happens in the UK, but the strength is just that it's stronger than the normal. I would say. But in terms of, if we would look at in the in more general aspect of climate change, uh, there had been a strong confirmation that the level or the changes and in terms of intensity and recurrence of natural calamities uh, are happening because we do have a different and warming climate at the moment. But in particular, I'm not an expert. I'm not a scientist. I'm just looking at the fact that the UK is not um, it's not a country where storm is not happening. So they did have storms before. Most of the things that are in our news is explanation on the UK storm, but not in the Baltic. But I would say that coming from a country where storm is quite normal. I came from the Philippines, and normally we have about 20 storms. What we observe is that nowadays the storms are out of pattern. It is out of the normal monsoon season or out of the normal cycles, and there are studies that clearly say that this is part of climate change because now the weather or the nature, especially we come to this era when there are so many things that we have to consider, and at the same time nature is experiencing a disruption. In the Philippines, for example, more storms are getting stronger and recording more because we are indeed experiencing the impact of climate change, and that's one part. And I could just surmise that in the Baltic or in Europe, this particular storm could 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 be seen also as a sort of warning or a sort of message that climate change is indeed happening, and that it maybe it will shake up if there is still that feeling of or that thinking that climate change can be denied. If we would look at the data, the last intergovernment panel on climate change in September 30, that IPCC report on the physical science already mentioned that those scientists in the IPCC have 95% agreement. Climate change is happening, and that 95% of the cause is human activity. So the big question is, if it's human activity, what kind of activities are they? And there's already an agreement among scientists that it's because of our addiction to the fossil fuel industry. And again, there are also a growing agreements among scientists that if we don't curb that addiction to fossil fuel, then we are pushing the climate, we're pushing the planet to that brink of irreversible phase where it will be very very difficult to to avert the situation of extreme warming. Um, I mean, there's an agreement already that 2% or 2 degrees centigrade warming is even too low now to think of. They think they're already talking about 3 degrees, maximum of 7-degree warming if if the trend will continue.